So just so everybody knows too, those of you who have signed the referral agreements, leads have officially started. I think we've got 3 or 4 in already today. So anyways, so Adam's got to do his magic. And so everybody knows I will be sending out a link to everybody today for a Tuesday meeting for all the people that are going to be on that first round. In fact, I'll probably send it to everybody and everybody can come in because we're going to start talking about processes and what you guys need to do when we send you over a lead. And so Adam is here, right? I heard him.
I'm here.
Oh, there he is. Yeah. Right on, brother. Anyways, welcome. So anyways, so what I want to talk before we get into trivia, what I want to talk about is the expectations for we've got a lot of investors that are coming into the program, and we have decided that they're going to have to go through the same the same quote unquote training / workshop that you guys have had to do. We are going to teach them the easy way to take care of their business. So, in reality, when Adam sends you a lead from our platform and we're the investors, Adam will be signing all the paperwork, the listing paperwork. We will have an attorney, power of attorney in hand that gives him the authority to do that. When he sends you over that link, he'll be sending you over the purchase sale agreement. He'll send you all the documentation, and he'll also send you instructions. Your job at that point in time, once you receive that home, is to make an appointment with the seller, simply to come and take pictures. So you're going to go get the pictures. You have a professional photographer go ahead and shoot the pictures. The addendum, remember we're using a 10% buyer's premium for that. Kenneth, what's the breakdown of that 10% buyer's premium for investors?
3% to the agent, 3% to the other the buyer's agent, 1% to easy platform. I'm sorry, forgive me. 3% to the selling agent, 3% to the investor, 1% to easy. Back up. I had it right the first time. 6% to the agents, 1% to easy, 3% to the investor.
Okay. All right. But you got the agents wrong. Robert Mangino. Split that 6% up.
Okay, you got on the seller side, it's 3.5. For the buyer side, 2.5, 1% for easy, and 3% for the investor.
Very good. And the reason why you guys are taking the 3.5 is because you're paying a 25% referral fee, right?
Correct.
So you're still making more money than the 3% by the time it's done. Frank Macri, if you submit an investor property, Adam takes it up. What is the referral fee we're paying you, and what aspects are we paying you on?
25%.
Okay, and what? Tell me the 3 places you're getting 25% of.
Ooh. Oh, I on the 1% to easy.
Very good.
That part going a little blank here.
All right, Quinn, can you answer it?
1% to easy. I guess I don't know this.
Okay, that's all right. How about Naomi's walking. I can't do that to her. I could ask Celia, but I know she knows. Vince, you know?
Yep, it's out of the 1% to easy, and it's out of the 3% to the investor.
All right. And also the commission you're making, how much?
I believe that's a 3.5 to the listing agent, 2.5 to the
Okay.
buyer's agent.
You got it. All right. Everybody understand that? So when you refer a home, then Adam puts it up on the site. You're making that 25% on the platform fee, the 1%. You're also making 25% of that 3% buyers are the investor insurance. And remember with the one home that we did the performer on, I think for a $500,000 home, it ended up being, over $23,000 back to you with everything. Okay. All right. So let's get back into Adam sends you a thing. Your only responsibility once you get that, once you receive that, follow the instructions and go arrange professional photos get done, get those photos done, and get it on the MLS. You're not dealing with the seller at all with us. You're dealing with Adam. Now let's say that we get there and you're doing your professional photos and you see something that was missing. Say we had an ovation and they were going to mow the yard up and put some shrubbery in. You see it didn't get done. Then email, call, or text Adam. All right. And take a picture of that so that we can make sure that the stuff is done that we've paid for. Are there any questions on that?
Yeah, Robert, what do we do about listing contracts for each individual state?
What do you do? What do you mean for individual states?
Well, like if listing the property, we need to have, in Arizona, a listing contract for it's approved by the state.
Yeah, you use your regular listing agreement with the easy addendum, just like you do normal. The difference is Adam, the investor, signs it, not the seller.
Robert,
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, Vince.
Robert, I want to touch base here on that. In Ohio, it has to be signed by the actual homeowner, not the investor, because we have gone through this with the MLS a couple of times in the state. So
Okay.
how are you working that out?
Well, we'll just you if that's what you have to do, Vince. That's why we have you on this call. That's why we're going to get together next Tuesday. Then just make sure that we relay it to Adam, and maybe we'd have Adam and the seller sign it. I mean, we'll have an agreement.
In those scenarios, there are a few states who are insisting that there be equitable interest on the parties. They're kind of calling out they're kind of calling out some of the investment stuff. So what we're doing in those instances is and what we're working with the agent basically is we have the seller sign the listing agreement, but before we sign before any offers are signed, we will then do an innovation indemnification agreement with the seller's information, with the buyer's information that they sign, that we sign. That way we ensure that everybody gets paid, and then we release our claim on file. So, then it goes normal, right? Then you send, once that's done, then you send the offer. It's all good. They sign it. Then it goes to title, and we get the property closed.
That makes sense, Vincent?
It does, yeah. We've gone through those a couple of times before over here.
All right.
Yeah,
cool.
no, it's going to happen in more states than, I mean, everyone, seems to, follow each other, every state. So, they're always looking to clean everything up, and that's just one thing we do. And, look, at the end of the day, we're not signing up sellers that are going to be looking to get out of agreements, right? We're not looking to do anything with anybody that they don't want to do, right? So we're bringing people who, at least the stuff that we're doing, the marketing we're doing through Easy, I can assure you that every single one of those people wants to sell their house, wants to work with us, wants to work with you, and wants to get their property sold. And we're going to be training all the investors who bring additional options and properties into the platform that we'll be handing off to you guys, that they'll be coming in the same way. And again, if they're not, and it's not working out with the other investors, just let me know, let Robert know, and I will make sure that every single one of them is dialed in the way that we're training them.
Yeah, I preferably let Adam know.
Okay, just let me know. Just let me know.
Thanks for answering that, Adam.
I have a question back to the buyer's addendum. So I was contacted today by an agent who she is the investor. So as far as the 2.5% that goes to the buyer's agent commission, she asked if she can not get that and then go ahead and reduce it from the sales price. So is that, because I did see on the buyer's addendum where it's the 10% and on the other side it's the
So you're saying the
negotiation.
buyer doesn't want to pay the buyer's agent?
I'm sorry, she is the buyer. She's the buyer and she's also an agent. So
And she wants to make an offer on the home.
yes, she was asking that first, as far as when she
Yes.
submits her offer,
All
she can
all
reduce
buyers' premiums are negotiable. I mean,
perfect.
not yours, not ours, and not the platforms, but if the buyer says, "Hey, man, I don't need that. I'd rather not have the 2.5%," then sure, we can change it when they get it, if they get accepted.
Okay. One more question. So as far as the offer price is set for what the investor is asking for. Um, and let's say the buyer who comes in wants to offer less. At that point, what is, what is the
They
response?
can't. They
Okay.
can't offer less.
All right.
Yeah, and if they don't see the value, and that's what you're getting from everybody, then we got to let your investor know that. That
Okay.
means that the property isn't worth what that they came up with.
Okay.
But not on one. If you're getting 10 people saying that, then how many phone calls have you gotten on that property, Celia?
I've gotten several.
All
Several.
right.
I've already showed it several times. And yeah, they all see the value, but of course, the investors want to pay, pennies on the dollar. So that's where I'm at with that. Even though the comps to this property are, way above over $100,000 from, what
Now,
we're listing it for.
stick with it. Stick with it. If you're getting that many calls, somebody's going to pull the trigger.
Yeah. Okay.
Good job. Good questions. Thanks, Celia.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So I am going to show you guys, we are going to be working on a workshop with the investors. I'm going to just kind of run through it real quick. For those of you who are driving, sorry. All right. So we are going to charge them to come through the workshop, and then we're going to rebate it back to them at their first close. All right. And these are the people that will be actually doing the presentation. What we're going to teach them how to do: lead generation, acquisitions, 3 sales choices for sellers, contracts and disclosures, real estate agent partnership, and business to business, stress-free closes. So this isn't all the way done, but by the time we're done with it, and these are the things when we do the workshops and we have some agents in, make sure you understand these things that we're doing as well. So, and everybody knows we're going to try to expand into Canada, right? And Mexico at some point. If you don't, yeah, don't. But lead generation, we're going to talk to them about picking a niche out and mastering it. The forums library, we're going to have probably 50 forums into this thing, and there'll be explanation how to use it. So we're giving them like a library of stuff to choose. We're going to teach them the same thing that we've been working on with you guys. 3 different types of sales: cash offers, novations, and easy list method. And go through the price sequential, and then we're going to go through one at a time. And what does it mean on that? Talk about the buyer's premium. And then we got contracts and disclosures, and then real estate agents. So we are going to take them through the absolutely full deal here, business to business things down here. So we've got double closing companies, earnest money deposit if you need it, or they'll fund her for it, hard money lenders. So we'll be giving that to them as well. And so that's it on that. That looks pretty thorough, you guys. Makes sense? All right, so we will be inviting a couple of you on every meeting. And to give, I think Frank suggested giving the real estate where they can actually ask you guys questions about what your jobs are. So you stick inside the process. The job simply is that for other than states where it's not allowed, but in theory, investors sign your listing paperwork. They sign the addendum, the easy addendum. You put it, then you go out and shoot pictures. You put it on the MLS. We want to put them on Thursday. Why do we put homes on the MLS on Thursday?
Because people start looking on the weekends.
There you go. Everybody gets the biggest. In Seattle, we have 3,000 other websites that our MLS syndicates to, and it does it for 3 days. So you're getting your biggest bang for the buck for those 3 days. And why do we start it on Thursday versus starting it on Friday or Saturday? Because we want to be doing an open house on Saturday. So that's giving 2 days of multiple exposure through in Seattle, 3,000 sites. All right. And then start playing the game that you normally do. Let's get them going. To make money with the investor side, here's a different question. Ryan Baker, what price are we going to put in the MLS for the investors?
85% of market price.
No,
Hey.
no, close.
What's going
Naomi,
on?
what price are we going to put in?
Like a fish. Huh.
Ronald Weeks, what price are we going to put in?
Wait. Okay. What price am I going to put it in?
In the MLS. What price for the investors are we putting in the MLS? What's our starting price?
Good question.
Frank Macri.
The price that the investor has agreed to with the seller.
The contract price, right?
Yeah.
All right. You guys, that's why we're doing this today. Investor versus traditional. Traditional now we want to go 85% below market value, right? And especially in a buyer's market for you unlucky people in Florida, you might even have to go to 20. Right? All right. So any questions on that, you guys? Everybody good? That was kind of fun, wasn't it? Everybody remembering these things and you're able to compartmentalize?
Sure.
Let's see how good we are. Time for, I was going to share my screen. I'm not going to because some of you guys will cheat and look at the future questions. So
Bob has a
anyway.
question.
Who?
Bob has a question about one of
Yes.
those investment contracts you have where that's the contract price is $100,000 below market. How can that be? I don't understand why the investor would offer $100,000 below
You
market
don't know what
value.
the sellers of the home, you don't know what their position is. Maybe they got to get out of foreclosure.
I see.
Maybe they've got a sick dad who's dying and they just want it. So that's what I'm saying, you guys. One of the things that I've had to explain to agents, there are things that are all of us, what I love about our group, all of us want to exceed expectations of when we put a listing on a site, we take pride, we're building our brand, we don't take crap, we don't do any. So for the investor in the investor world, I don't know the seller's positions ever. So when they give you a contract and put in the notes, go out and shoot pictures, it doesn't matter what they've worked out with the. And I can tell you with our company, we don't gouge people. We let the sellers choose what they want to choose. Right? But if Adam, and I think I went over this on Monday, Adam set through a Novation guru that he knows. Adam, you want to tell him the story about your mentor?
Well, he's not a mentor. He's just a guy who, he's a guy who actually, got lucky on this one deal. But basically in a nutshell, this guy filled out a form looking to sell his property in like the middle of nowhere. And this guy called him back and told him told him, oh, well, I actually don't really want to sell my house, but I'm trying to help my son who's trying to sell his house out in Southern California. And the guy said, I want $1.5 million for my house. This guy is connected to a couple different hedge funds, but in the current climate, they weren't buying at that price point. And he said, listen, the best I could do for you is get this thing, listed on the market, and I'm confident I can bring you a buyer. And he didn't even understand the comps. The agent didn't even understand the comps properly. And the house ended up netting this investor $638,000 as an ovation. And everyone was, and I was shocked to hear that everyone was happy at the end of the day. The seller was extremely happy for the investor. The buyer was extremely happy. Everyone made out and got exactly what they were looking for out of this house.
Wow. What a story.
Yeah.
Will that change anybody's lives?
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. So the investor world, you don't need to be involved between the investor and the seller. If you have to get involved, you got to call the investor back and say, listen, you got to get this worked out. We can't list a home until it's worked out. You don't need to go and do all their job.
The way I position it with the sellers, just so everyone understands, is they know exactly what we're doing, right? In fact, I even asked them a question along the lines of, let me ask you a question, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Why have you not approached an agent about this, right? And they'll give me any number of reasons why they do not want to go that route, but they're okay with it if we do it for them. They just want the peace and certainty of that cash offer, right? Of knowing, hey, I'm going to get this, and that's all I care about, right? I don't want to deal with a million investors. I don't want to deal with a million showing, whatever different reasons, and I overcome those objections with them. And then I say, listen, my agent blank, okay, does all of our listings for us in your area, okay? I'm going to send them out to your house. I want to confirm the condition of the property, make sure that this property will qualify for what we're trying to do, okay? And we're going to go from there. How does that sound? And we send you guys out there, and the property is qualified. Great. It will get it listed on the easy platform. If the property is not qualified, we're going to come back to them and say, listen, how are you planning to get this house sold, right, in its current condition? There's absolutely no way it's going to sell on the MLS or anywhere for that matter, right? We would have to put in $30,000 to this property. And sometimes they'll come back and accept the cash offer. And sometimes they'll just sit on their property for a little bit because, reality, doesn't work for their situation. But either way is fine. We're going to be listing properties on this platform that are going to move every single time.
Amen to that. All right. Everybody ready for some trivia questions?
Before we go there, Robert, I have a question. I as on my off market deals that I've been doing over the years, I have a 1-pager and a 3-pager purchase contract. I don't use typically for off market deals. I don't use the PAR forms, which is California Association of Realtor form, unless I'm listing a property, on the MLS. So if I get an off market property on my 1-page contract and submit that to Adam, okay, is that okay?
Yes. So
Existing
you're going to
form.
be the investor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Everything works.
so the only thing you would need on that, right, is you would need to have the language for the novation or for the listing language on that first contract. If you have that, then everything's fine. If not, we'll just have to get an addendum after the fact that gets that language. And I can send you a copy of my contract so you can see what I'm talking about.
Okay, I was going to say thank you, Adam. I was going to
Sure.
say, do you want me to send you my contracts? But
Kenneth. Yeah, Kenneth. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll send you an email and
Okay.
we'll trade contracts and I'll show you. You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Excellent.
and we'll use which one you're comfortable with. But as long as it has, like, my contract has 3 paragraphs that pertain to the marketability of the property, the novation of the property, and what happens if a seller changes their mind, basically, and
Okay.
and includes a limited power of attorney. So I'll get that over to you, and anybody who wants it, just let me know. I can get
Well,
it to them
we
too.
should send me the copy so we can get it in the workshop.
You already got it. I'll send it again.
Yeah.
Adam, you're going to send me your contact information?
Yeah.
Are you, my contact information is in the easy system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and just so you know, everybody other than Greg Bilbrow, everybody, it's just their first name at easyrealestateplatform.com. And Greg Bilbrow is Greg Bilbrow at easyrealestateplatform.com. So, all right. Any other questions? All right, let's get on to having some fun. I'm going to add some more questions for next week. So let's, all right. Kenneth, what is
Yes,
the rule
sir.
for using a buyer's premium?
The rule using a buyer's premium is that the price of the home should not exceed the retail value.
Awesome, very nice. Frank Macri, define buyer's bucket pool.
I don't know how you define it, but depending on what the house is and the price range it's in for your market is going to determine how many, what percentage of buyers in the market would be attracted to it and be able to perform on it.
Okay. Joy, why does that make a difference for pricing?
Am I okay? I didn't know if I was unmuted. So the buyer's bucket pool determines the pricing, because if it's a larger buyer bucket pool, you don't have to be as aggressive with your pricing as opposed to a smaller buyer bucket pool. Because pricing is what determines the amount of activity we want to get 100 people up at the open house.
Good answer. Bob Mangino, give us an example of something with a high buyer's bucket pool and something with a low buyer's bucket pool.
A high bucker's pool would be an expensive luxury type listing, and one would be a low bucket pool would be something that has a lower price property, be interest of more investors.
Okay, now that's not right. Raymond, how about you? And if you don't know, just say you don't know. It's okay.
Can I answer?
Yeah, go ahead, Frank.
A low buyer's bucket pool would be an over 55 community. A high bucket pool would be a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,800 square foot home.
Very good. Something everybody can buy, right?
Yeah.
All right. So a smaller buyer bucket pool, mobile home parks, 55 and over, condominiums, townhouses, way out in the middle of the country, out in the middle of nowhere in Bumpkinville. If you're out there, we got to price a home accordingly. Okay. Next question is, when pricing a traditional easy listing home, what is the objective? And how about if we go to Erica?
Okay, so you said what's the objective in terms of pricing?
Pricing the home traditionally, not, in other words, not an investor property.
Oh, okay.
Doing a traditional easy listing. What's the objective of pricing the home?
Okay, but if you're going the traditional way, the person still trying to do the same.
No.
The easy way?
Easy is traditional in this sense. Investor is investor. So doing the easy traditional, what's the objective of pricing the home? What are you trying to?
The objective of pricing the home for the easy method is so that you can get the highest value out of the home for the property, as well as trying to bring as many people into the property, as many eyes onto the property as you possibly can that will benefit the seller.
Okay, so that's kind of right, but I'm looking for a more specific answer. Michael
Okay.
Nikolai, what's the
Hey, Robert.
objective?
It's Ray. I'm sorry. I was on the call.
Hang on, Raymond. Hang on.
I got a brand new listing. I need to get it onto the portal with Michelle, and I was having
Okay,
I
go
have a
ahead.
had a slight complication. But are you referring to the discounted rate of 15 to 20%?
No.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Michael?
It's the goal is to shock the market so that you can get 100 people through the house.
There you go. Everybody got that?
Shock the market to get 100 people through the house.
Yeah. Well, it's actually just the objective is to get 100 people at your open house, pricing the home. Okay. We already answered when pricing an investor's home, what is the price? So everybody knows that's a contracted price. Let's see here. Ed Cavalieri,
Yes, sir.
what does it mean to reverse prospect?
To find out what agents are sending their properties, a particular property to their clients.
Okay. Kind of.
Kind of, sort of.
Kenneth,
Yes.
how do we get reverse prospecting? What is reverse prospecting?
Reverse prospecting on the MLS is when you identify and allow buyers agents to look at the property and send you questions and or offers on that property.
Okay, so how would you know who the buyers are? Buyers agents are.
That's what reverse prospecting does. They notify you about the property. Their information comes over.
Okay, right. Okay. So let me make this simple. A buyer from that buyer's agent has looked on something and said they love the home. The
Right.
agent sends them over thing and they say, I love it. That goes into the reverse prospecting. Okay, does that make sense?
Right.
Okay, very good. Quinn, what's a good reverse prospecting message in this buyer's market that we can utilize with reverse prospecting?
I mean, I think it's kind of a description of kind of what you have to offer and kind of in a term of a broad sense. For example, have 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in such and such area. Have any buyers?
Okay, that's one. Mike Nikolai, what's another one? What's a good reverse prospecting message that can come from you because you're using the easy platform?
Okay, I just got back, had to walk. So what's the question again?
So when we reverse prospect, what's a good message that'll tie in easy platform and give the buyer more value?
Would you like a way to help your buyer qualify and be able to get more house?
That's one. Ronald Weeks, what's another? You're muted. Hey, I haven't asked Erica. Let Erica answer
Okay.
that. Erica, what's another message?
Okay.
You're
You
muted
said me? You said me?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's another message reverse prospecting that Easy offers? Look, Katie's got her hand raised. Love that.
Gosh, another reverse method that we have offered.
A message. So Frank
Wow.
said that you could, we got a nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. What did you say, Michael Nikolai?
That we can help the buyer qualify to.
There you go. For more of a home. So Erica, what else? What else can you reverse?
Okay, I'm just gonna put this out there. We have 0% commission to offer.
Well, we don't want to send that to their buyers.
Okay, not to their buyers. I'm not
Okay,
thinking.
hang on. Katie?
Okay, yeah.
Let's let Katie go. She's got her hand raised.
I was gonna say, yeah, tired of your buyers being outbid by only $5,000, or tired of a non-transparent process.
Oh, that's good. Okay, everybody get that? So how about interest rates? Right? Could it benefit your buyer? By utilizing our buyer's premium, we can actually help your buyer buy down interest rates. Help them with closing costs. increased buying power, right? All those things will get a buyer's agent more excited than anything else that we have going, which is a generic message. Any questions on that? All right. Next question.
How about I got a secret? Bring your buyer to the front of
Yeah.
the line.
Look at Frank. Love it. Okay. This should be a fairly easy one. Where are you submitting your listings to Michelle? Brian Baker?
Our platform.
There we go. Any questions on that? Right through the platform now. Isn't that pretty cool, huh? We've evolved. So, oh, this is a tough one. Let's see here. Somebody raise their hand if they have this answer. What is our 800 number?
1-800-253. No, I don't know it.
Anybody know it?
0018.
Well, you're close, but no.
It's the same one that's on the platform.
What is it, Michael?
That means I'd have to look it up. It's on the platform.
Joey, what is it? You're muted.
800-231-0058.
You're looking at the website, aren't you, Mangino?
Yes.
Hey, you guys, if you want to make your life simple, post that in the MLS remarks. Let us help you. And if there's a time when we don't answer the phone, all you got to do is let me know. Because by the way, I'm like the fifth one in line. But even I got stuck answering the phone twice this week so far. Utilize that thing and let us help you with stuff. All right.
Also, info@easyrealestateplatform.com. Both of those.
Oh, here's a fun one that I don't know. You newbies probably won't. The older people may know. How did I put it in what progression of website are we on in the 10 years we've been doing business?
Number 3.
Third.
Wow, look at you
Third.
guys. And why is that important to know that?
Because the clock is more refined and the platform's more refined.
Okay, what else?
Longevity.
It's probably not the final edition.
It'll never be the final edition unless I die. Then somebody else can deal with it. Okay, so
A lot
what?
of the past houses on there are gone because we can't house everything that we've done.
That objection that you get, well, I only see 100 homes on the site that have closed. That's with the new site. We can't carry over every site. When I have to go through every month with the making sure those clocks work in a certain amount of time. Those clocks for everybody's, they take an enormous size of file size to keep those things accurate. And we've got to be less than a second when an offer is made. It's got to go and ping back to them in less than a second. And if that doesn't happen, we got to go back in and reprogram the clocks. We got to update the clock. We got to do something. But we're getting tested on that every month. So if 100 homes isn't enough for your sellers, then you got to explain that. That's a great explanation. All right, next question. Ooh, this is it's too bad like we weren't in a thing and I could be throwing out hats or t-shirts. What was the first name of this company in 2015?
Look at you.
Ed, can you mute yourself? Does anybody know that?
What was the question?
What is the question? The original 2015. What was the name of this company?
Easy Offer?
Nope.
Oh gosh, I should know this, and I don't remember.
A stumper, eh? USA Home Buyer Auctions. And why did it change? Because we're not an auction. But I wanted that, like, we had this great process. When I started getting approved through all the MLSs, they flagged us because of that. So we changed the name from that to Easy Real Estate Offer. And then Easy Real Estate Offer is a DBA of Easy Real Estate Platform. Okay, so all those names are still live. And why is it important to know that? Because that's the history of the company. All right. Ooh, I knew I'd get one stumper in there. All right. We have a home on the MLS, right? We want to, and it's not on the Easy platform. We want to bring it into the Easy platform. What is the term name that we use to do that? And what is the method that we're using to do that? If you know, just blurt it out.
Can you repeat that, Robert?
Yeah. You have a traditional listing not on the Easy platform. It hasn't sold. You're not getting the views. You're not getting going. When you take it off and you're going to put it on the Easy platform, the only way to get it to sell, what is that term called that you have to do?
Shock the system.
Go ahead, Joy.
Oh, sorry. Shock the
Go
system.
ahead.
Shock the system.
Shock the system. We can't take a home traditional that's on and put it in the Easy Real Estate, lower it down 15%, and charge a 10% buyer's premium. Right? It looks like a bait and switch. So if you want to do that, then we now have 3 homes that we've closed by shocking the system. Michael Graham's not on this call today. I think he went from 750 to 625, Mike Nikolai, something like that. The kid in Seattle went from 369 to 199. So it's going down dramatically. So when we add that buyer's premium back in, and the other thing that happens with the reason why people will shock the system, they're not getting any action. And what do you have to lose? And the reason why you don't get action is because the price isn't right. So we used to not encourage that, but in the last 2 months, we've had 3 of them close using it. So apparently in a buyer's market, it seems to be a relevant term. All right, let's see here. Let's go with one more. Let's see.
Robert, to
Yeah.
shock the system, is that to take it below 20% margin when you relist it on Easy?
What's that?
To shock the system, is that to take the price down to more than 20% below the list price?
All
to
3 that
shock
have
the
sold
system?
took it down well below 20%.
Got it. Okay.
But the cool thing is they came back up to where they were trying to get to. All 3 of them. All right, let me see here. So I just forgot. All right, give me 3 differences between listing a home in a seller's market and listing a home in a buyer's market. This will be the last question. And we'll wrap it. We'll finish. I got 3 more pages of questions. We'll finish next week.
You said 3 for sellers, 3 for a buyer's?
No, between a buyer's market and a seller's market, give me 3 differences.
Seller's market, yeah, obviously you can drive competing naturally because there's a lack of supply. So there's a lot less, work you have to do as an agent. Buyer's market, you could get more, concessions and things done and actually get prices lower and get certain concessions than you can in the seller's market, whereas seller's market, hard to get those concessions at all, and you're going to generally be paying more on the price because you were competing. So there's 2 of them for you. Somebody can finish
Very
third.
good.
If you like.
Colin.
Back off vacation, man. Had to get back on. I'm sorry, I'm late.
Hey, it's okay. We started advertising last night, so
Yeah.
be ready on the thing. So we're going to finish that question next week, and we're going to keep going through some review because I don't want you guys to get confused with the investors versus traditional market because there's really some important differences that we got to talk about with market conditions and also days on market. we need to make sure that we're all strategizing the same together so that we're giving our sellers the best representation that we can, right?
Correct.
All right, so I wanted to introduce Bonnie Ard. She's a brand new agent, and Celia Goldsmith. They are both working with investors, and they're both very versed and already, learning the ropes, and they're going to help us get better. So I just want to introduce them to everybody. So, welcome. All right, everybody, have
Glad to
a
be a
great.
part. Glad to be here.
You're a blessing. Everybody's got my cell phone number, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, so we'll see everybody on Monday. Have a great, productive weekend. And congratulations, Mike Nikolai, too, on your closing. All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning into Easy Real Estate Platform's Topic Thursdays. We hope to see you again next week, and make sure you check out our Facebook groups. The links are in the description.